turn that down. So I don't know how YouTube does with background music. So hi fam. For those who do come and watch, thank you. I know the videos are far and, and few in between, but hey, life keeps going on and I keep living. I am grateful for those who do stop by and watch the videos that I do post. I always try to share something that will be encouraging, uplifting, something in some kind of way that will help you in your life, whatever the trial or situation is that you may be facing. But I always want to be in a position where I am sharing information that is helpful, not only for you, but for myself. Because sometimes I need to go back over some of those lessons and be reminded as well of just certain things that, you know, life. So, real quick, because I've been having this come up a lot in some of my life coaching sessions. Don't mind that finger. So, um, serious note, right? I wanted to talk to you guys about self-talk because what we often talk to ourselves about, that conversation that we have in our mind, the thing that keeps playing over and over in our head whenever we're dealing with things, whenever we experience certain things in life, can sometimes be the very conversation or situation or thing that we've heard or things that we keep replaying in our mind that um, keeps us stuck in life. And so the goal here is to just kind of give you a quick reminder to not let that happen, to push and fight against those negative self-talks that we have with ourselves, those talks, those conversations where we're sitting right and you're probably in a place where everything has quieted down, there's this stillness and you're listening to yourself. And maybe you're in a place where it's like you're not seeing the results that you want to see. You're not having that turn up, that you thought you would be or expected to have, or it's not all glitz, glam, and glory, because it's just quiet in that moment. And sometimes, like, we have to be reminded, like everything is not going to always be like on the upbeat, go, 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 go. It's not going to always be like one big party day after day after day. Like life is about balance. And some days I really do believe that God will cause you to be still so that you can hear him. But not only that you can hear him, you have to be able to silence your mind so that you can hear God. Not saying that you can't talk to God, but knowing how to be able to talk to God about the things that you are dealing with in life, but also not just what you're dealing with in life, but also I come to God, and this is what I'm saying, like come to God with what it is that you have on your heart, but also give him time to give an answer to you. Also give him time to speak to you, to speak into you so that you can receive the word that he has for you. So we want to just be mindful again of those self-talks, right? Because sometimes it's not that things are bad, it's just that things are still. But sometimes in those still moments, right, where you haven't gotten an answer yet, or you haven't gotten, that next move or what to do next, like it's the unknowing I think that we struggle with the most. Like why am I sitting here? Like, why is nothing happening? And the crazy part about it is really just a trick of the mind that makes you feel like nothing is happening. Because just because you don't see some physical action every day does not mean that nothing is happening. So the thing that we have to be mindful of, again, is those things that we tell ourselves when we can't see what God is doing behind the scenes. The things that we cannot see when God is moving on our behalf, but because we are not in control of the plan, God is, but we start to worry. We start to worry. We start to question, like, well, what about this? Or why don't I see this? Or what's going on? Or like, what is it? And the problem is, sometimes the problem is us. It's us in our mind. There's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Now, I will say this. This is a disclaimer. Truly assess the situation that you are in when you are having that moment, because sometimes things may be wrong. I will not discredit that sometimes in certain situations something may actually be wrong. And then once you assess your situation and determine, okay, if there is a problem or if there isn't a problem, and I'm just, allowing my mind to wander into crazy land, and I'm over here just, creating these scenarios, these problems, these situations in my mind that really don't even exist. If there is a situation or a problem, then what we need to do is then go to the next step. Okay, well, how does this problem, how is this problem created? How does that affect me? How does that affect others around me? What can I do? What is within my control that I need to do? Have I prayed and talked to God about this situation that I'm facing? But seeking the proper help or the proper resources, and going in the proper direction. Let's say if it is an issue where you are experiencing a actual problem or issue. Now, I'm not talking tonight about an actual problem or issue, although we will touch on that or have touched on that. But what I really want to hone in on is this negative self-talks, the self-talks when there's nothing wrong with us, when we truly are just still. I am just still. That is that moment, look, where I am just still. I can't say that anything is wrong. No, nothing bad happened to me today or yesterday or the week before. Like, no, I didn't lose anything. No, no one came and told me anything. So why am I in this place where I feel like I'm anxious, or I feel troubled, or I feel burdened, or I feel something in me that I can't even explain? And sometimes we have to like really just go to the root of it. Is it something that I sat here, maybe, and it's crazy, right? And I'm not trying to point fingers at anyone. I'm not trying to make anyone feel crazy, out of place, or anything like that. But sometimes it can be little triggers that we have encountered in our day, not realizing that nothing actually happened, but we have brushed against one of our triggers, so to speak. Maybe you saw a movie or heard a song, or maybe someone else was having a conversation. And see, the thing about triggers is triggers oftentimes bring things to enlightenment that we may have experienced in the past. So let's go, for example, talking about that still moment where in the past, when you've had still moments because it was an actual problem, you were in depression, or you were struggling with, family issues, personal, career, those type of things, that really cause you to just be either stuck, blocked, trapped, whatever that case may be. In terms of a relationship, maybe it was a bad relationship and you were stuck. So now you watch this movie and it's having like this bad relationship in the movie, and now you all of a sudden feel like, oh my God, like you feel just weighed heavy. And the truth is, like, you've been single for a while, there's nothing really going on, and y'all, I'm just, giving this as an example, but the thing is, nothing really happened other than you allowed something, right? And I won't say you allowed, but something brushed against one of your triggers. And so it took you to a place. It hit a familiar place in you. It tapped on something that you realized was like, I felt that before. I understand that. So, and y'all keep up with me, y'all. I don't know if you watched the previous videos or not, or if this is your first time watching, but I swear you have to be like multifaceted in the mind to be able to keep up with me, because I be here, and I do apologize, but I really be trying to speak and give everything that God has put on my heart for me to share with y'all. And sometimes I realize, going back over some of the videos, like, it seems like I can be all over the place, but it's truly just so much that I want to share and try to, connect with others and help you understand, like, why we're having this conversation. Like, why am I giving you this information? But it's because I want you to be aware of the negative self-talk that we sometimes have within ourselves that can cause us to be in an uneasy space at times when we probably don't even need to. The self-talks, sometimes the mind, right? It amplifies temporary situations. Let's say, okay, you did have a bad day. Okay, let's say you had a conversation and that conversation didn't go the way you wanted to. And that happened like 2 weeks ago. But because of the way our mind is, right? Because of the way our mind operates, that self-talk, because when things get still, you've been going, you thought you dealt with it, it was cool. You've been busy. We've been busy, but busy sometimes can mean we've been distracted. So now we're in a place where we're settled and it's quiet and it's still, and I don't have all these distractions, and that conversation comes back up and it's replaying in my mind, right? And I'm saying my mind, but I'm speaking as in terms of like us. It's playing in our mind. And what happens is now that we're still and we're able, is like our mind wants us to replay that, right? Because there's no other distractions. There's nothing going on. Like there's no work, there's no kids running around, there's nothing else, right? That has us like focus, has our attention. So now the mind is just processing the memories that you've had over the past few weeks. Everything has been go, go, go. And you finally have time to slow down. So now your mind is processing everything that has been happening. And then whoop, we come across that little bump, that conversation that you had 2 weeks ago that was so difficult, right? But you brushed it under the rug and you kept going. Well, now that you're still, it's like your mind is like, oh my God, like that happened. See, one thing the mind does, it will amplify temporary moments to make them feel like a life sentence. If that happened 2 weeks ago, you talked about it, you dealt with it, sometimes it will come back up. It will come back up as a memory, but it does not mean that you are tied to that moment. You're not tied to that negative situation. You're not tied to that negative problem. You're not tied to that burden, because that's probably what it was. It was a burden, or it was an inconvenience, or it was just troublesome for you at that time. So the message in that is, don't allow yourself to be consumed by a mental prison, because here it is, like, okay, right, 2 weeks later, and I'm just using this story, this scenario as an example, 2 weeks later, and you start to worry about something that happened 2 weeks ago that you had dealt with, and you just kept on moving on with your life. But just because you had a still moment where you're able to sit down and now your mind is processing memories over the past 2 weeks, and that comes back up and you're like, dang, you know what it was? It didn't really feel good then. And now that you've thought about it again, it's like, dang, you have that trigger. It doesn't feel good now either, because it wasn't a good moment. It wasn't a good moment 2 weeks ago, and it's not going to be a good moment now that when you think about it. But that does not mean that you are tied to that actual problem, that situation, that inconvenience, that trouble, whatever it was, and change the situation for whatever you need it to be. It didn't have to be like a bad conversation 2 weeks ago. It didn't have to be like you lost a job a month ago. Whatever it is that you faced. The point of this conversation is, you do not have to be tied to that moment. That is called a mental prison. Your mind is trying to replay that situation, and is bringing back the feelings and emotions of something that you've already experienced weeks ago, months ago. Allow yourself to release and let go. Allow yourself to process it. Nothing's wrong with processing. And in fact, I think part of healing, and I know you guys hear me mention that a lot in probably all of my videos so far, is healing is so vital to our growth in anything we do. But in order to heal, we do have to process the pain. We do have to process the problem. We do have to work through those issues. Sweeping things under the rug will eventually just bring us back to a place that whenever we are brushed by that trigger again, sometimes it will knock you down if you haven't dealt with it the proper way, if you have not healed from it, if you have not actually come face to face with it and been like, okay, I know that this is an issue for me and I need to deal with it. And eventually you get to a place where you're dealing with your issues, you're healing from your issues, that whenever you do go down memory lane, or you do have that moment, you're like, dang, you know what, I did experience that. It was a lesson. It probably wasn't the best one that I experienced, but I'm grateful that I overcame. And I remember when it happened, I wasn't doing too good. It hit me kind of hard, but now you're able to be like, I'm good, I'm okay. I understand that happened then, and it probably did make me feel bad then, but I'm okay today. I'm better today. Like, I'm not in that same space. I'm actually okay. It's okay. Tell yourself it is okay. Let yourself know that it is okay to be okay. You are not tied to your past problems. You're not tied. Don't allow yourself, right, to be in a mental prison. You do not have to be in a mental prison. Right? That's those self-talks that we have to have. But just like there's a negative side to self-talk, there's a positive side to self-talk. We have to get in a place that we speak to ourselves, that we know how to speak life into ourselves. Because sometimes your environment will be harsh. Sometimes your home will be harsh. So you have to get in a place where you know how to speak to yourself. Speak positive to yourself. Speak lovingly to yourself, right? like encourage yourself. Know how to really talk to yourself and pull yourself up, because sometimes we can't always rely on others to be that that crutch that we need. We can't rely on others to always be, that shoulder that we need to cry on. And sometimes, like, just in life, we've learned that sometimes the people that we have wanted to the most be there for us will sometimes be the very people who they're just, is not even that they probably don't want to. Sometimes people are just busy in their own lives and everyone has things going on. So everyone can't always come to your aid, your rescue. And it's not that people don't want to, but you have to realize, like, every individual is on their journey and they're living life and they're just trying to do the same thing you are, put one foot in front of the other, trying to make the best decisions for themselves, for their families, whether it be personal, whether it be career, whatever that may be. So everything is not always that, a person just wasn't there for you or didn't want to be there for you. So don't take everything personal. Take what you can and then leave the rest behind. And I hope that you are taking the positive and not the negative. But learn how to speak positively to yourself. I encourage people all the time. Do affirmations. Do your daily affirmations. Find an app on your phone. Find a book to read. A daily devotional. Um, Find support groups. We live in social media times. There's so many support groups. There's so many different organizations and things that you can find right there in the comfort of your phone. Like, you can be in your home, in your car, at work, whatever you need. And you can find those positive connections, right? For people who are just trying to be uplifted, be encouraged, and find that support. I encourage you to find that support until you're able to support yourself in that way, right? You want to be able to speak to yourself. You want to be able to have your own affirmations, until you can learn how to set affirmations that are specifically detailed for you and what you desire. Use an app. Use an app that will help guide you. It'll help give you guidance. But in the process of guiding you, like, it's helping condition your mind to find positive ways to process things. Is adding positivity into your life daily. And I think that is so important because we live in a world that is so harsh, environments that can be very harsh. And I use that term lightly because there's a lot going on. And I only pray that you can get to a place where you have the discernment and you're able to pick and choose properly for yourself in your life, to start surrounding yourself around people who truly want the best for you, people who can add value. Even if they can't add value to you, you just want to be around people who have good intention, who are living well without any malice or any negativity, because that is so key to just being on the right track in life and having the right people around you. I can't stress enough how important it is having the right people around you, being in the right environment. And I mean, sometimes it's not always easy. Sometimes, like, we don't have that choice. That's not something that we are in control of. We don't always get to pick people that we want to be around. For instance, like your job. You may go to a place and work in a place, and unfortunately, like, you don't always get to pick who corporate hires in your place of business. So you may be around somebody who is not probably the best fit for you and your journey, but you don't have to be connected to it. You go to work to go to work. And I'm just using that as an example. But choosing your environment and who you connect with wisely is very important. So start being intentional about who you want around you, and who you want in your life. And watch how things start to change. It does make a difference. It makes a huge difference who you decide to connect with. Be be hard up about you. Be hard up about your life. Like, no exceptions. We not playing. We not with the foolishness. Like, no, we not taking none of the bull crap. And if you are in a situation where things are not probably ideal or best for your growth or for who you're trying to be and what you're trying to do with yourself in your life, then Be willing to start making those changes so that you can change it. Because by chance, I mean, it's possible. I believe in God that He will perform miracles. And yes, change can sometimes just fall in your lap. But the honest truth, I'm not saying that's not the truth, but in most cases than others, you have to do the work. There's no way around it. You have to do the work. That's praying for discernment. That's first building your relationship with God, making sure that you are being intentional about your decisions and the things that you're doing in your life. Going back to the way you talk to yourself, the way you love on yourself. Because when you start talking to yourself right, when you start loving yourself right, it's certain things that you're going to be like, no. Oh, is what? Is the what? Negative? I don't do that. Not for me. Take that over there. Go ahead and bring it over there. I don't do that. You're not going to allow certain things. It's certain stuff that you're going to be like, nah, I can't do it. At least that's my mindset. Because it's just certain stuff that I feel like I'm not going to do it. I've worked too hard to try and better myself as a mother, as an individual, in my career, to my friends, for me to be just taking the low ball end of the deal. No, love yourself more. Give yourself more. Want more for yourself. Fight for yourself. Do the work for yourself. I was having this conversation with a friend, and the funny thing is, it came up in the conversation about how when a person, right, starts to take care of themselves, and they're putting more time into how they look, and they're putting more effort into the way they dress and stuff like that, and they're like, oh well, that person must got a new boo or whatever, stuff like that. And my thoughts on that is, when you really think about it, most of the time when people start doing stuff like that, I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but it normally be for self. I mean, the good come out of it, yeah, because you're going to get more eyes, more look-a-whoos, stuff like that. But you do that for self. You know why? Because it makes you feel good. You do it because it makes you feel good. Okay? Do it for you. We don't care about who's going to look, because people going to come and go. They're going to look, they're going to like, they're going to all of that stuff. But do it for you. Love you enough to the point where you want to make changes, because you want to just keep seeing yourself get better and better and better and better. Okay? Better and better and better and better. And I can't stress it enough. You just want to see yourself get better and better and better and better. So keep doing it for you. You are the prize. You are the gift. If not to anyone else, to yourself. To yourself. Appreciate and love yourself, right? Do it for you. Do it for you. You are deserving. You are so deserving of that and so much more. I can't stress enough. Just, we got to stop worried about everything outside of, of what's important. What's important is making sure you're healthy in here, in here, and it'll show here. It will. Self-talk. Talk to yourself. Get yourself on track. If you've fallen, it's okay. We all fall sometimes. We have those moments where we slip up, but get yourself back on track. Get yourself back on track. We all have slips and falls. We all go through some things. We all have our moments where things just kind of just, it happens. It's a part of life. That's a part of that balance. It ain't gonna always be, like I say, glitz and glam. It ain't gonna always be cotton candy clouds and candy gumdrops and all that. I don't even know how to explain. It's not gonna always be good all the time, okay? It's not gonna always be bad either. But I can damn sure tell you, and excuse me, but if you're having more bad than good, get to work. You ain't there yet. Get to work and be serious about getting the work done. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Get to work. Get it done. That's Auntie, Mommy, Nikki, all that telling you, get it done. I'm going to be right there with you. because I'm not where I want to end. I damn sure want more. I damn sure want more. And I'm going to keep working till I get it. I don't even think I ever want to stop. I want to keep going. I want to keep going till the wheels fall off. But Auntie Mommy Nikki telling you, get it done. Get it done. Do the work. That's my serious face for y'all. But I love y'all. And thank you for just hearing that message. I hope the rest of this week for you is blessed. Keep growing. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. Keep praying. Keep growing. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. Keep praying. Keep growing. Keep pushing. Keep fighting. And I don't mean physical fighting with people with the drama and all of that craziness. Like, keep fighting for you. Fight for your life. Fight for the best parts of you. That's what matters. Like, oh my God, when you put so much work into trying to better yourself and fighting for the best parts of you, like, you're going to sit back and you're going to be like, just amazed, be like, dang, I used to be like that. And now, like, I'm here and things are good, and keep fighting. Once you start to get a taste of it, it's going to make you want to fight more for yourself. Fight more for yourself. Fight to be better. Fight to have the best. Fight for you. Pray. Go to God about everything. God, I stumped my toe. Lord, let me tell you about my fingernail. My fingernail broke. I had to go to God about it. I ain't gonna lie, I did. Because I didn't understand why. And it was hurting so bad. And Lord was probably like, girl, get off my line with that foolishness about your fingernail. Just glue it back on if you want it. If not, hush up. It'll be all right in a couple days. I know. But I felt like maybe if I told him, he'd probably kiss my boo-boo because I was sad. I was sad about my fingernail. But I love God, though, y'all. Have those talks with God. And let me just add this really quick, because this came up right in another life session, life coaching session, that a person say that they didn't know how to go to God. They didn't know how to talk to him. And surprisingly, when that came up, I had just had this conversation probably a couple weeks ago. I don't even remember how long ago, with someone else. And I said, why does that keep coming up with people? I thought, and I get it. I understand, because we discussed this. This was a heavy discussion based on what we see in church and how, because of the way things are sometimes taught in church, you feel like you have to be a certain way to go to God. You got to pray to God a certain way. I'm going to be honest. I was guilty of that a long time ago. I was really guilty of that. I felt bad about that, because you go to church and you see people and they pray a certain way and it just looks like it comes so easy to them. And it was like, dang, to the point where I used to be, how can I put this? I used to be afraid to pray in front of people. I used to be afraid to pray in front of people, because I was like, it's not going to sound like how, everybody else pray. It's not going to sound right. I'm not going to say the right things. I'm not going to hit I don't know if I'm going to say it like such and such, or other people would say it. So I would want to pray for people in front of people. And then when I go to pray, it's like, I clam up, because I'm wondering, like, oh my God, what they thinking over there? Are they going to say something? Like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I said the right thing. Oh my God, right? But can I just say this, and I hope this helps you out? Be genuine in your talks with God. God knows who you are. He knows who you are. He knows how you are. So I think the best thing that we can do to show God that we honor and love him, and who he created us to be, without being disrespectful, I think you should just be genuine in your prayer and in your talks with God. You don't have to seem like anybody else. You don't have to pray like anybody else. God knows you. He created you. So trying to feel like, oh, you got to sound like such and such, talk like such and such. No, you don't. Yeah. So I know I have something in my hair. Courtesy of Kingsley. Kingsley's my daughter. Y'all don't know on that one. But it doesn't matter, right? It does matter, but it doesn't matter if you don't sound like the next person. It doesn't matter if you don't sound like Sister Pam, Sister Jenkins, or And I say those names because, like, when I thought of church, those are like the first people I think of when I think of the church that I used to go to. And I don't mean any disrespect. So if they ever come across this, just know I mention you guys out of love, because when I think of God, I think of those two godly women. I don't know, those are like the two first godly women, and they're marvelous prayer warriors, right? They'll pray you from here to there, okay? In a good way, is what I mean. But the point is, be genuine in your prayer with God. Like, I've gotten so comfortable with God that, that's why I said I talked to him about my fingernail. I was serious about that, y'all. And that's why I said he probably was like, girl, get off my line today. Like, you be coming over here talking to me and you just be talking about any and everything under the sun. Yes. And it feels so good. It feels so good because I can just be like talking to God and be like, man, you know what? And God probably be up there like, here she go again with that foolishness. Like, what you want, girl? At least that's how I be, taking it. That's probably not. And you know what? Somebody else can come and be like, oh, girl, you wrong for that. I don't care what you think about me and my relationship with God. God knows my heart. And he know when I'm talking to him, I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I'm going to enjoy the times. Like if I'm sitting down with my best friend, my sister friend, and we are just talking, laughing, or talking about something serious, whether it's the cry, because baby, when I have those ugly cry moments and I'm talking to God probably up there like, breathe, wipe your nose or something so I can at least understand you. I know he'd be like, man, it's child of mine, bro. Man, it's child of mine. Like, girl, look, but it's okay. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Y'all take it how y'all want. Y'all pray how y'all want. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm just being honest and sharing my little side because it keeps coming up in conversations. But don't be afraid. Don't feel like what you're doing is not right. Like I tell people all the time, be authentic and be genuine. And God will understand. Be authentic and be genuine. Most importantly, be genuine in your talks with God. Be genuine in your prayers with God. He will understand. He created you. He created you. He will understand. He gets it. He gets it. He gets you in all your craziness. Now, he may not want to deal with the drama, the problems, but he gets you. And I think at times, we sometimes, because we are in that negative space, we don't want to go to God. Sometimes you might feel like, well, if I go to God and, maybe he won't hear my prayer. I just say, well, if you need to talk to God, like if it's on your heart, like I really need to talk to God, but you feel like I'm crying too much, I can't do it right now, then if it's on your heart, he put it on your heart for your reason, talk to God. And then watch how you talk to yourself. That's what this really was all about. Those self-talks. Talking more positively to ourselves. Giving ourselves the grace that we need, speaking to ourselves right, loving ourselves, and then being intentional about the decisions that we're making for ourselves to be better as a person. And it's not gonna come overnight. It's not gonna happen overnight. Change don't happen overnight. I mean, you can hit the lotto, and that might be change, but change don't happen overnight. It takes time. But anything done over and over and over again for a long period of time, it becomes a habit. It becomes better. So again, because I was supposed to end this like 8 minutes ago and I just kept on talking. But sending my love, sending prayers that whoever this video crosses your path, that you feel the love, that you feel the encouragement, the enlightenment, and that you understand, and that you have it in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, in your body, in your spirit, to just want to love on yourself better, to make sure that you have God in your life, and that you feel free to talk to him about everything, but you are also willing to love on yourself. Give yourself the talks that you need the right way, and to release the negative. Let it go. If it don't serve you well, let it go. Let it go, friend. Let it go, sis. Let it go, bro. Let it go, bae. Let it go, boo. So thank you all for tuning in with me. Much love. Be blessed.